Here is our KFC main event. Todd the Hulk CHATTELLE from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, coming in at 12-9 with 9 knockouts. He takes on the tough SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE, 4-6 with 2 knockouts, fighting out of Rahway, New Jersey. Let's send it down to Rick Provost for the official introduction.
The man in charge of all the action at the bell is Mr. Kevin McDonald. Let's introduce the combatants. First, out of the blue corner, wearing the purple trunks, weighing in at 187 pounds, with a professional record of 10 fights, 2 wins, coming by way of knockout and 1 submission. He hails from Rahway, New Jersey, representing All-Star MMA. Please welcome SHEDRICK Chocolate Thunder GOODRIDGE. And hailing from the red corner, this man is a mixed martial artist. He is tied for the all-time most victories in CES MMA history. The most well-known, one of the most well-known fighters in CES MMA history. He's in the black trunks, weighing in at 185 pounds. He has a professional record of 12 wins, and 9 of those wins coming by way of knockout, 2 by submission. He is from nearby in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, representing Tri-Force MMA. Please welcome Todd the Hulk CHATTELLE. 3 rounds, middleweight division.
And we're just about ready for this main event. I am Mike Parenti, joined by my broadcast partner, Pat Sullivan. Todd CHATTELLE in the black trunks with the gold lettering, SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE in the purple. And you see that stare down, the intensity of Todd CHATTELLE. It's a big fight for him, Pat. He's coming off a win in 2013, but wants to get back to that 2011 level where he was 4-0 and really on top of his game. Whether or not he can get there remains to be seen. We'll start to find out tonight.
Todd with 6 wins here in the CES MMA cage. He's the first fighter to 10 fights here at Classic Entertainment and Sports with an overall record of 6-3. This his 10th pro fight with CES, again coming off a win against John Troyer, a first-round knockout less than 3 months ago, Mike.
Big kick upstairs by SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE to open things up. And, of course, CHATTELLE, as we mentioned, has had his ups and downs. He's been, no doubt, one of the more prolific fighters in CES MMA history. Had an off year in 2012, came back last year, went 1-1, ended on a positive note, looking to carry that into 2014. As he knows and as he acknowledges, the clock is certainly ticking as he gets into his mid-30s, and this may really be his last chance to make a run at the top.
Fight fans from the area know that when Todd CHATTELLE fights, you have to stay in your seat. You can't get up to go grab a beer or a popcorn at any moment, because he can certainly end this fight at any moment in his career. 10 of his 12 wins, Mike, have come in the first round. 6 of his 9 losses have come in the first round. He has only been to 2 decisions in his career, so certainly packs a lot of excitement in those first round.
And it's been quite a while. It's been since 2011 against Jeff Nader when he actually went the distance in a fight. He did win that one. That was part of his tremendous 2011 campaign. GOODRIDGE with an early takedown here, now trying to gain side mount on CHATTELLE. And really, Pat, CHATTELLE was only maybe a few strikes away from being 2-0 last year against Dennis Olsen. It appeared he had him out on his feet a couple times, but Olsen just fought back, somehow regained consciousness, if you will, and ends up getting the submission choke in the opening round. A real surprising fight, a real surprising ending to that bout.
SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE, a very qualified opponent here for Todd CHATTELLE. He himself 1-1 here at the CES cage. He lost on the CES pay-per-view card against Brennan Ward. He then went on to defeat Brett O'Terry in a comeback victory here last year. So SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE, certainly better than his record may read. He's fought some of the best, and he's done very well against them.
And no question the record is deceiving. CHATTELLE tried to come in with a big overhand right. He missed badly, and GOODRIDGE rather, took him down to the canvas. So again, CHATTELLE finds himself on his back here midway through round number 1. GOODRIDGE off to a pretty good start, looks composed.
GOODRIDGE, the 6'2" southpaw, coming off a win in December, a knockout over Elder Ramos. Before that, he lost his previous 2 fights, including 1 bout on Bellator.
CHATTELLE again works his way back to his feet. And of course, it's no secret, CHATTELLE likes to be standing up in the center of the cage where he can use his hands. That's always been the strength of his game. Now 2:15 to go in round number 1.
If you compare the two fighters' records and their resume, Mike, we just mentioned how many times Chattelle's fights have ended in the first round. The majority of them, a vast majority of them have ended in the first round. For Goodridge, in his 6 losses, 4 of them have been in the second or third round. One of them was a doctor's stoppage due to a cut. And really the only first round loss he ever had was against Brendan Ward, who we all know then went on to win the Bellator middleweight tournament.
Chattelle just missed with a right hand moments ago. Ends up getting Goodridge in a tough spot here. For a second, he thought we might have had a guillotine attempt, but Goodridge has kept his composure here. Chattelle doesn't have it sunk in at all. And now Goodridge back to his feet with Chattelle pressed against the cage. A minute and a half to go in round number 1. So far, a good start for Goodridge. Chattelle really hasn't had a chance to let his hands go just yet. Now they're back to the center of the cage, and this is really where you want to finish strong, Pat. These final 60 seconds or so, where the round is somewhat in the balance.
Certainly the round still could be won by either side here in the final 65 seconds.
Quick stoppage here. I think maybe Goodridge got poked in the eye. He landed a nice left, and then on the exchange, I think Chattelle might have grazed him with a thumb. So he'll get some time to recover before we resume action.
You hear Josh Diekman, a training partner of Todd Chattelle, saying that straight right is there all day to step to the left. Todd seems to be shaking his hand a little bit.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we haven't seen a lot of that right hand in the last few minutes or so. You wonder if maybe they got caught or tangled up awkwardly on that exchange, if something might have happened. We'll find out if they go to the corners between rounds, if it actually gets that far. Final 30 seconds. Nice kick attempt upstairs, but Goodridge actually caught it and then caught Chattelle really in the oblique on the way back. Final 15 now to go in round number 1.
Good job by Goodridge there.
Chattelle trying to sneak in the right hand before the bell. Looks like we'll get through this opening round here. Tough one for Chattelle. Goodridge got off to a good start, no question. May or may not have taken it. We'll see how the judges go. Let's listen in now to Todd Chattelle's corner.
Ah, fucking damn. Good job, baby. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. Good. You're doing good. I want you to keep your hands up.
Representing Tillet Modeling Studios, Mariah Sikorsky, one of the CES cage ladies here tonight. She's from East Taunton, Mass, striving to be a CPA in hopes to pursue a career in music, and she's a talented country music artist. Jimmy Birchfield's Classic Entertainment and Sports would like to thank tonight's sponsor, New England Ambulance, Rhode Island's #1 full-size transportation provider for the healthcare industry. Should you or a loved one require special medical transportation, trust New England Ambulance to provide the quality care you need and deserve. Call New England Ambulance at 401.
See Todd just comes flying off that stool, ready to go here in round number 2.
And again, Pat, just before the bell's about to ring, you see Chattelle shaking that right hand. You got to wonder if something happened maybe in that first round that may be bothering him. Could be a sprain of some sorts, but you did hear Pete Jeffrey in the corner telling him to use that jab a bit, and that's what's going to set up that right hand if he's going to be able to execute it. Round number 2 underway here. Goodridge in the purple trunks, Chattelle in the black and gold. This is our main event of CES MMA 21.
To go back to the last time where Todd actually sat on a stool in between rounds, it was back in 2011 when he defended his title against John Doomsday Howard in Doomsday's first fight here at CES Scratch. It was April of 2012. That fight ended in the second round with Howard being the winner. But that was the last time Chattelle ever went to a second round in a fight.
And you wonder if fatigue does play a factor too for Chattelle. His conditioning is not a question, but when you haven't been there for so many fights, after a while it just may sort of set in, and if you don't get to those second rounds, you don't have that experience, you may somewhat lose it a bit. So we'll see if it does play a factor the later this fight goes. Goodridge briefly catching that kick attempt by Chattelle now drives him back against the cage. Opening minute of round number 2. Nice left snuck in there by Goodridge. Chattelle just flipping that jab, not much behind it. Now leads in with the right, but doesn't pull the trigger.
You saw CHATTELLE hesitate again there with the right hand. He threw that jab pretty well, and then instead of following up, he almost halted the punch right as it went past his shoulder.
It's been a surprising lack of aggressiveness on his feet for Todd CHATTELLE. We don't see that too often. He's usually not afraid to let his hands go. And now GOODRIDGE gets the takedown and trying to rain down those left hands. CHATTELLE just defending himself here. He's got good side mount position with 3:15 to go in round number 2. And right now, Pat, GOODRIDGE is really taking it to CHATTELLE. You have to kind of give him the edge here, really, for the first half of this fight.
Certainly, they came in here with a lot of confidence. They liked the matchup. He came in here. You saw how confident he was when they were introducing him. Serious the whole time, and he stayed composed. Every time Todd CHATTELLE's thrown anything or try to go for any sort of offensive move, GOODRIDGE just stayed pretty sound and pretty confident.
CHATTELLE just working those kicks and trying to get a takedown, but instead it's GOODRIDGE who gets the takedown once again. And GOODRIDGE looks real comfortable, Pat, even on his feet, working the jab, working the lefts and rights. Really no sign of any panic whatsoever. And it's CHATTELLE who's really been at a disadvantage, not only in round 1 here, but through the first half of the second round.
You notice a lot of leg kicks today from CHATTELLE as well, not letting his hands fly. Pair of elbows there from GOODRIDGE.
GOODRIDGE doing a nice job, just staying active while he's got CHATTELLE down on the canvas. And it's a tough spot for the Hulk to be in. He can't really do much from this spot. He can't get back to his feet, though he does right there. And even when he's been on his feet, Pat, he hasn't let his hands go yet. We'll see if it picks up here as we get into the final minute and a half of round number 2.
Pair of lefts there from CHATTELLE.
Just trying to lead in with that jab, but not much behind him. Really no mustard or zip on him whatsoever. And he's not using it to set up the right hand, which is kind of strange, which is something we're not used to seeing from CHATTELLE. And again, there's the leg kicks. We've seen more leg kicks and right hands in this round, in this second round.
There's definitely got to be something wrong with his hand in this situation, Mike. He's throwing a pair of jabs, and he comes back with 2 jabs and a left leg kick.
It's
he's
very
thrown that right hand yet.
Yeah, it's very unlike a right-handed power puncher to not be using that right hand when you're at least 9 minutes into the fight. And that's something that's very strange. Now Todd tries the flying knee. GOODRIDGE ready for it.
Certainly fighting a southpaw may have something to do with maybe a little lack of the right hand.
And again, it's GOODRIDGE who looks like the comfortable fighter on his feet, mixing in kicks, using the left and rights, throwing the combinations. That's the thing. CHATTELLE's really just kind of one punching out, not letting his hands go, not putting together any combinations. It's really prevented him from gaining any traction whatsoever. It's been all GOODRIDGE really through these first 2 rounds. We've got 30 seconds to go here in the second. CHATTELLE goes upstairs with a short left, now tries to drive that knee into the midsection.
Here is Cordy on Todd, let's go.
Yeah, at some point he really has to pick it up. Now GOODRIDGE with another takedown just punctuates a strong second round. And boy, it's been all SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE here at Twin River Casino.
Mike, we keep talking about what Todd CHATTELLE's not doing. We should also talk about what SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE is doing. He's being aggressive. He's counter-punching well. He did very good on the ground. He was able to take CHATTELLE down there, and you see his corner, Manuel Wallo and James Beals, excited for their fighter going into the 3rd round of the main event. Great start. Great first 2 rounds here for SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE.
This might be war. Kevin Collins, Thomas Follow, and Zach Ramsey will be in action along with the rest of your favorites.
Just heard his corner saying, be ready, this round's going to be war. They're expecting CHATTELLE to come out guns blazing, and really he's going to have to go for a knockout or a submission here in the 3rd round to take home his victory.
Yeah, it appears he'll have no choice. It looks like, just from the naked eye, that he's down 2 rounds. Hasn't really executed, hasn't been able to get any big takedowns, and again, in stand-up, not really letting his hands go. So it may have to be an all-out effort, and perhaps a war that SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE's corner is predicting here for this 3rd round. CHATTELLE's going to have to do something at some point, and he can't waste too much time if he wants to pull this one out and get his 2nd consecutive win. For GOODRIDGE, it would be his 2nd consecutive win as well if he does end up going the distance or earning a stoppage or knockout here. Round number 3 just about to get underway in this main event bout.
Again, Todd CHATTELLE, the first fighter in CES history to get to 10 bouts. He's 6-3 overall, looking for his record-tying 7th win here in this cage. And although he may be down 2 rounds tonight, you can really never count Todd CHATTELLE out of any fight. We've seen him come back from some situations where you didn't think that Todd was going to be able to win the fight. He's been able to come back and in a knockout or even a submission, which he has a pair of here at CES. So certainly fans have to be ready for an exciting 3rd round.
When you have that kind of punching power with 4-ounce gloves, you're never out of a fight, no matter how daunting a task it may seem. And CHATTELLE may need some of that knockout power. He may have to reach back for something left in the tank to pull this one out against GOODRIDGE, who has fought effectively through the first 2. You see CHATTELLE trying to lean in a bit.
Sellout crowd here at Twin River Casino. Some exciting fights here tonight for CES MMA, and we expect this 3rd round to potentially be the most exciting round of the night.
Nice left that time by CHATTELLE. Tries to follow up with a 2nd left, but again, Pat, no counter punches, no right hands, no combos. You have to think something's up at this point. It's not the typical Todd CHATTELLE that we've seen in the past.
No, we're used to seeing Todd with somewhat of a bully mentality where he could just go right from the center of the cage, back his opponent up with right into the cage by throwing lefts and rights, those big wild overhands. We haven't seen that much. We saw back-to-back overhand lefts, but that's very uncharacteristic of Todd to throw back-to-back left overhands.
We have not seen him use that right hand since midway through the opening round, so it kind of lends to the credence that maybe something is wrong, an injury of some sort. In any event, he's trying to tough it out. GOODRIDGE has been a strong opponent and has been in total control of this fight. And now GOODRIDGE driving a few knees upstairs as they break the clinch. And now GOODRIDGE going in for a takedown. He gets it. 2.5 to go in round 3. It's desperation time for CHATTELLE, Pat.
See a cut opening up over his right eye. His left eye seems to be swelling a little bit in the corner. Again, a very aggressive game plan here for SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE. And you got to wonder if they came in here expecting this to be a war in that 1st round where SHEDRICK is going to have to go out there, be the aggressor. And you know what? It worked in the 1st round, so why not run it for the next 10 minutes? And that's what they've done so far. It worked so well in that 1st round, even better in the 2nd round. And right now, GOODRIDGE dominating the 3rd round of this fight.
And you have to think, too, that GOODRIDGE and his corner knows something may be up with CHATTELLE, and they're taking advantage of that. They're being aggressive. He's going in for takedowns. He's not worried about being stopped by that right hand because he hasn't seen it in 2 rounds. And now under 2 minutes to go. And again, it's all SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE here at Twin River Casino in the main event of CES MMA 21. You see the blood just trickling down from the right eyebrow of Todd CHATTELLE. And it's kind of a telling tale here tonight. It's really been not his best performance, not the sharpest we've seen him. Though we're not sure if there's something up, something beyond just fatigue at this point. A minute to go in the fight. CHATTELLE's on his back. GOODRIDGE is in control, and it appears CHATTELLE may need a miracle at this point, Pat, to pull this one out.
Yeah, under a minute to go. GOODRIDGE probably ahead 3 rounds to nothing. 10 years younger than Todd CHATTELLE, who turns 35 here in February. "40 seconds to go here, Mike, and GOODRIDGE looks to be on his way to a 5th professional victory and a 2nd one here in the CES cage.
CHATTELLE climbs back to his feet. GOODRIDGE catches him with a couple of lefts and rights on his way up. And this is it, Pat, the final 26 seconds, the final chance. Flying knee attempt by CHATTELLE. Now just trying to drive that knee to the midsection, but again, not letting his hands go in the process.
That is a good job of ducking under GOODRIDGE here. Does he have that punch? And there he throws an overhand right.
And here he goes, all of a
First one we've
sudden.
seen in a long time.
CHATTELLE letting go in the final 10 seconds, but not nearly enough. It's definitely a case of too little, too late here for Todd CHATTELLE. And it appears that SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE has taken this one in the main event. You see the excitement from the corner. They know it. CHATTELLE drops to his knees at the end of the bell. He knows it as well. And you got to wonder if something was bugging CHATTELLE throughout that fight physically that prevented him from letting go.
Yeah, for the last 2 rounds, we didn't see him throw a single right hand until the very last 10 seconds. He threw a pair of them. One of them looked like it was a pretty good punch, had a lot on it, may have stung Goodridge a little bit, but nonetheless, hats off to SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE. He really put on a tremendous performance tonight, winning this fight certainly by decision. But he did win this fight in all facets. He won on stand-up. He won with his back against the cage. He did better on the ground. He was more aggressive. And he really just took it to Todd CHATTELLE from the very first bell to the last. So hats off to SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE, who comes into Todd's hometown where he is 6-3 and gets a decision win.
And no question, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention what Goodridge did right in this bout. Regardless if something is wrong with your opponent or if he's not at his best, it's up to SHEDRICK GOODRIDGE to come in there and take the fight from him. And it appears tonight he has done just that. We'll get the official word from Rick Provost.
All 3 judges see the bout 30-27 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, SHEDRICK Chocolate Thunder.